Hello and welcome everyone. This is Lavender Sky Panther. Today is Thursday, May 21st, 2020. And today's topic is just called Cloud Riddles to Fig Fiddles. It's a collection of images and sky observations taken between May 17th and May 19th this time. A little bit shorter time period because there's a lot of activity happening and enough footage to include right now in a show to you now sooner than later. So before we kick it off with the sky observations, I always like to start with a nice little image. Today's image is of some homemade blueberry muffins, and I'd like to say welcome to you again if you are returning or new to the channel. Welcome and thank you for being here. I'd like to say good day, osio, hao, buongiorno, guten tag, kia ora, jambo, buenos dias, bonjour, ni hao, dzień dobry, konnichiwa, dobroho dnia, annyeonghaseyo, boa tarde, dobry den, aloha awinala, and galimera. Now, with these images, they're more than I usually like to include in one show, so I may kind of fly through them pretty quickly. Feel free to go back to anything and ponder it a while if I go through too fast for you. But for now, I'm just capturing a red-orange sunset that happened. Keep in mind that my camera phone that I used only seems to capture does a good job with the orange golden range, but kind of misses the boat with the red pinks, doesn't capture the vibrance. So just imagine this a little bit more vibrant, but it's still beautiful nonetheless. Okay, here's a zoom in. Again, this would be much redder. But I did like to capture that we've got these types of clouds. I'm going to use that term loosely. These seem to be forming a lot lately, and they seem to be somewhat equally spaced apart. Sometimes there's more of them, but it's just a strange phenomenon because it's happening at the same time as a more puffy cloud, a cumulus cloud, and then this kind of smoky type stuff drifts in as well. So just noting that there's some real oddities happening these days, and I just wanted to capture it. Okay, now this is called red striped cloud. This was happening, and this was kind of a freak of nature how this one stripe could come through, because the sun was setting in this direction off to the left of the slide, and the way the clouds were built up, it didn't seem like any light could come through in this way, and yet it did. But anyway, nonetheless, here's a little cumulus grouping. There was some lightning happening in here and flashing and lighting this up as well. There was a strange like whoosh of a swooping cloud coming around in this direction, which is very out of character with everything else happening around it. But here I took a video of the cloud so I could isolate this frame of the lightning coming down, and then I was trying to capture the true red pink that you could see with the naked eye. It was somewhere between this and this, definitely more vibrant than this. All right, now here's the cloud transformation sequence happening looking south. So this lower grouping tended to, stay yellow and golden and then get even more golden orange as time marched on. Then this at the cap was starting to transform and widen. I'm not sure how there was even bright white light hitting it because looking to the west, everything was red, gold, and pink as you saw with the sunset earlier on. Then we have like a wind or something happening in the atmosphere to kind of blow off. It just seems some of this either, cloud material, or I don't know if that's plasma or something happening in there. But that usually doesn't happen unless you're up in a higher altitude or with cold atmospheric conditions, which is not the case here in South Florida. So I just thought it was odd. Thought I would capture this little sequence and share it with you. All right, now here we go to some low oddball clouds. In other shows and other, sky watching and earth watching channels around the world, people are noticing that these clouds are getting gray and they're coming in really low, toward the ground. So in this case, it's an isolated puff ball, I'll just call it. Don't even really want to call it a cloud because, this is the main cloud system. And as you can see, this is a little more dense than this, but I'll just call them like cloud puffs. You'll hear me call them a number of things just depending on how I feel because they just don't seem like clouds to me. But anyway, this cloud-like thing is detached from the main system, and they're drifting, continuously now lower in our atmosphere. So this was happening at 5 o'clock. This was happening 2.5 hours later, kind of similar phenomenon. Okay, more oddball clouds. This time, what's going on? Because just 20 minutes apart, these different types, of clouds are traipsing by. This is a little more well-formed, looks a little more compact as far as those things go. This seems like a little more loose, its edges are kind of falling apart. But no matter what, these are coming in at what? not quite a 45-degree angle, but it's just very strange. At the same time, we have these strange clouds happening. This activity, everything is just very different. Okay, here's another oddball cloud. This time, look at, we have this whole little system happening. Does not belong, this does not belong to that. That does not really belong to this. And then we have this little trailing off of God knows what. So again, just recording. This one doesn't happen to be gray, but still an isolated oddball, odd man out. All right, more odd clouds. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but just showing you this is more of a puffy nature, not quite cumulus, not quite I don't know what, but anyway, there's a hole. And then we've got this motion happening, emanating out this way. Then we've got this one marching along this way. So is this being caused by some type of radio frequency? I mean, the spacing and the pulsing out in the direction of these things, or, electromagnetic wave activity or some other type of radioactive wave activity happening in the sky? I don't know, but just really seems strange that we have this character of cloud, we have these types of clouds or wisps or whatever it is, chemical, happening that way, and then this marching along this way. Then here, again, we have a low gray cloud, another cloud system. This seems to be more dense, rectangular form, a looser rectangular form, all happening in the same sky. What is it with these different angles in the same locale? Just a question, and I'd like to document it here and share it with you. Okay, this was truly odd. This was one of those cases where my camera did not want to focus no matter what I did. So this entire image has been, I altered the contrast and the color temperature on it just to pull some things out, and you'll see why in a second. But anyway, the overall photo I took because, sorry, hang on one second. Let me go back. Give me a moment, sorry about that. So I looked over here to the northwest, and just something about these shapes and this hazy, like cotton ball of cloud. It did look actually fuzzy to the naked eye. I know some of this is bitmappy because I did the contrast on it, but this was a very hazy, fuzzy ball, let's just say, and it was luminous. It like either was reflecting something or had its own light source, but it was bright. And at the same time, direct overhead was the sun, so away from this. Now, my camera did not want to focus, yet it would focus on everything else nearby. This happened again in the same type of phenomenon where my phone camera did not want to focus. Happened on April 26th when I was looking at a very odd grouping of cloud, and it just felt weird. So I don't know if there's some type of craft or something electromagnetic happening in this whole overall system, but something was going on to mess up the camera. That's all I'm going to say, because immediately after and before it was working fine. So then I took this image inside because it's too bright to really see things outside, and I noticed this very clear, undeniable triangle happening off to the left. So that made sense. I was really focusing over here and looking at things, and bam, that was happening there all the time. I don't know if this is something happening there too. So what is this? Is it a cloaking craft? Is it some type of a sensor or tech being placed in the sky to do something? Is it some type of shield to, I don't know, diffuse light? But, again, that's not in any place where the sun was. Is it an imprint left by some craft that was there? There's a number of things that it could be. I have really no answer for you, but look at it and see what you think. Okay, now this is just called odd cloud shape and cutout. So again, one of these really oddball formed clouds. This is happening above. So here's the same piece as here and here. So this is what we're looking at up here. So then we've got like this Harry Potter lightning bolt cut out here with two different cloud types. It's more puffy and cumulus, and this is more feathering out into something totally different. And again, this is like a little window into another dimension, it felt like, because there's yet again, weird cloud activity happening back there. But again, just something curious to look at. Thought I would share it with you. Okay, now this is back to when I was looking at that triangle shadow on that other photo. This was looking straight up at the exact same time. Okay, so this was where the light source was, and straight up overhead, and yet, over to the northwest, that other light ball was happening. So I can't really see too much happening other than that these look weird. I thought I would share it with you. All right, this is happening looking west and east within 10 minutes apart. We have totally different activity happening on two sides, directions of where you look. Again, why are these coming down at such an odd angle, when horizontal is this way? We got weird cloud puffs happening at the same time that this weird, cloud structures are happening. And then over here, looking to the west in the opposite direction, what's going on? Is this like chemtrail? Is it just some other naturally occurring, although it doesn't look like it to me, but chemical haze or plasma or crazy water vapor. I don't know. I'm kind of seeing almost a form here, so I don't know if all of this is just to distract you from what's going on here, if that's a ship trying to cloak, or if that's just coincidental. But whatever the case, just seems very odd. All of this chaotic activity can be happening, at the same time this is happening. Again, worth recording it. Okay, this one I'm calling Cloud Waves and Blue Sky Cutouts with a question mark. This was really weird. I was so focused on capturing this down here. It looks like a sawtooth kind of, patterning on these little clouds, that I missed looking at what was up here. So I found this again once I brought the photo inside. You can see, look at clear edges and a clear point on each end, symmetrical, Then you have this, looks to be camouflaged by other clouds happening, but could be a triangle shape. Here's some other forms happening back in here. So again, what are these things? What are these? Are they imprints? Are they craft trying to cloak? Is this some type of tech being laid up in our atmosphere at that height? I don't know, but I'm putting it out here for you guys to come up with some ideas on your own what it could be. All right, while we're looking at cloud riddles and what could be going on, the name of these clouds would be, I have a question mark. Can anybody step up and answer that question for me? Because what is going on here? We have a cumulus cloud. We've got more of this either vapor, plasma happening in the background, or chemical haze, whatever it is. Then look at this. This is more like lenticular clouds that happen above mountains and cool atmosphere when they form. And they never form here in subtropical South Florida, but yet here they are now. And again, we've got this form, it picks up a little more, bumpy type profile. Then we got these pieces sticking up on here. It's just very individualized, isolated forms, and with another one of these things sailing, right below it. And all of this happening right in the same locale, latitude, altitude. It's just very bizarre. So just like a minute later, it starts to break up, and now you see these pieces, really kind of detach. And then a minute later, voila, it's kind of poofed into nothingness. So again, I don't know what that one moment in time was about. It's very interesting as a form, a collection of forms there. If you have any ideas on what just happened there, please let me know in the comment section. Okay, now here we have a sky gator. If you saw my previous show called Red Gator, Red Sister, we had this, another gator form happening to the north. This one's to the south. And that one had its mouth open. It was catching the red, orange sunset, yellow sunset. It was beautiful. This one now, we're looking to the south, and its mouth is closed. So this is just for fun. You see the clear form of the eye, the snout, the eye, and the little scales toward the back. So I just put that for our amusement. Okay, now I like to close the show on a note of nature, so this time it's about the Fiddle Leaf Fig. Now, the scientific name is Ficus Lyrata. It comes in the tree form and in the bush form. It's a beautiful plant. Here's the beautiful broad leaf. It's great for providing shade, a little bit of shelter from the rain, provides great oxygen. Just a beautiful tree, very hardy. It grows 40 to 6 feet tall. It handles drought really well. It can handle salt in the air if you're near the coast. And it can even handle pretty poor, soil conditions. It can handle clay, loam, and sand. So it's just a really beautiful plant. And back in I think in about 2010, it became really popular as an interior decorator item, even to this day. It's typical, people have either a silk version of it, if not the real version, or a plastic version inside their homes. So anyway, just looking at it, you feel healthier. It's a beautiful plant. The tree has much, thicker trunk work here and branches. The bush, it's much thinner. At the bottom, you can see they're more spindly. The bush, you can kind of simulate a tree if you get some gardening binding tape and, pull it together. And they're very easy to maintain and to trim. So I highly recommend this tree or bush if you can have it in your area. It's a beautiful plant. All right, so here is the photo of the week, or I should say half week. It's a duckling. A group of ducklings with their mom after a nice little rain. So thank you for ducking in here a bit on the show with me. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're enjoying your day or evening wherever you are. I wish you all the best. If you're having a great day already, keep going. If you're having a tough one, just know that you're getting some encouragement from me here to you directly right now. So all the best to everyone. Great peace and love from me to you, Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.